Okay, so these can be a little bit tricky, even though they're all just true false. They're tricky true false. What they're about is they're about seeing if you're getting the concept, the idea. There's no calculations here, which is nice. You don't need to do any calculating, but it is still slippery. It's tricky in the sense that it asks you to really understand what it is a confidence interval is. All right, let's give it a try. 200 Americans were asked how far in miles they currently live from their place of birth. So think about that for a second. How far do you live from where you were born? Try to think how many miles away. I'm thinking I was born in the LA area. I think it was Torrance, I think, or Downey. One of those. I was going to see one of those little LA communities, Torrance or Downey. My parents moved up north. Anyway, I won't give you my family history, but so I'm probably what? I don't know how many miles away from here to LA. A couple hundred miles, about 200, 250, something like that. So yeah, I'm in this neighborhood of 80 to 300. A 95% confidence was computed. You know, most people live somewhere between 80 and 300 miles from the place they were born. You know, they currently are away from their birthplace by somewhere between 80 and 300 miles. All right, so then with, whoops, let me go back here. Then with 95% confidence, it can be said that the average distance all Americans live from their place of birth is between 80 and 300 miles. Is that true? Is that what that confidence interval really says? That's the question. We're 95% sure that the average distance all Americans live from their place of birth is between 80 and 300 miles. Yeah, exactly. True. That's exactly what a confidence interval is, right? You're confident about what the true average. You're 95% sure, confident, that the true average is between 80 and 300. You know, it's like 250 or whatever it is. You know, like if I'm the average American, I live about 200 to 250 miles from where I was born. So what's the average for all Americans? We're meaning if you were to somehow survey every American, everybody in the whole nation, which we cannot do, it's way too big of a survey, right? But if we could, there does exist some true average. We are 95% sure, confident that the true average, if you could find the true average for all Americans about how far they live from where they were born, it would be somewhere between 80 and 300 miles from where they live. That's true. That's what, we're not saying we know for sure that's true. We're just saying that's what that confidence interval is saying. You know, if the confidence interval really did come out, the 95% confidence interval came out to be 80, 300. And you think, what about the 200 Americans? That's just how many we surveyed to become 95% confident that the true average is between 80 and 300.